Hello, and welcome to the second video on this channel. First of all, thank you all who subscribed, liked, shared and commented on that first video. The amount of support was amazing and very motivating. I can't believe we're almost at 500 subscribers in less than a week. That's pretty crazy. And way more than I expected. Special thanks are due to Simon of Monster Garden, who gave me a very kind and generous shoutout on his stream the other day, and to the whole Monster Garden community, which responded so kindly as well. Thank you guys! If you don't know what Monster Garden is, you should definitely check the channel out, link will be in the description. My original idea for this week's video was to be a brief intro to how the magic system works, and how the binds that move the mechs and other technologies interact with it, shape societies and culture, etc. But one question that was posed to me multiple times in different socials after the first video was, in one way or another, how the hell do the mech controllers or pilots get in there? How do they fit? And aren't they crushed by the binds as they move or something? Well, I had some idea of how it would work. I have thought about things like this a lot. But the question made me realize that I had never solidified my understanding of how it would work by putting it on the page. Even worse, even though I have lots of sketches and drawings, I realized, with some horror, that I had never drawn a bind mech from the back view. And so, I set myself to doing just that, as you can see in the timelapse shown in the video. To be honest, I think I was overambitious or overconfident when I decided to create this concept in just a few days' work, since I have been busy with some other stuff. But still, I think it was worth it, since it helped me solidify my own understanding of the mechs and their inner workings. One of the things that making this concept helped me define was how the back muscles work, which I had never really thought about in great detail before. I had this vague idea that the binds would somehow tighten into each other, or the user would control them into grasping at each other, to join in the middle of the back, forming some sort of semi-rigid spine. But this idea further complicates the controlling of the mech. And while I am sure most people would not have a problem suspending their disbelief for this point, I am a sucker for finding more realistic solutions. So it occurred to me that the back bind muscles are secured on a double door on hinges, as you can see. And these doors, when closed on themselves by a large steel pin, would create a rigid frame for the muscles to pull and contract from. All it's missing is a scapula, or perhaps there is one hidden between the binds and the door's metal. I'll leave some things to the viewer's imagination. Another thing that changed, and you can see how it was at the start of the concept, is what does the pilot do with their arms? For a long time I had this idea that even though the joints would be in different places because of the size discrepancy, pilots would still have their arms and legs inside the extremities of the mech, and that their motion, even though not exactly the same, would assist in creating the mind impulses to send to the bind and move it as a second body. But as I was working on this, I heard this constant nagging in my head that the position looked very uncomfortable, and also it would really make it hard to move the mech's arms towards the back without dislocating the pilot's arm at the elbow. So to hell with it, they can keep their arms nicely tucked inside the main plate, where they would be safer anyway, since the chest plate and front of the helmet are the thickest the armor in these things get. The legs I chose to keep inside the mech's own legs. I think walking or running motions would require a much greater degree of control, balance and proprioception, and having the pilot's own legs within the femur of the mech could help with that. Plus, it seems a much more practical and comfortable position than the one the arms were in. Lastly, but not leastly, you can see a small platform with a different colored bind. This is called the mother bind, although it's technically more of a root, and it's the main feeding mechanism and control input for the mech. The pilots transmit their inputs through it by feeding it their magic energy, or ESA, via specific locations in their head and spines, much like our own brains send neurological impulses to control the muscle system. It takes a lot of training and a lot of power to be able to do this, and to them it feels as if they are controlling a second body or an extremely complex phantom limb. But I will touch on that with more detail on a later video, or videos, touching on the magic system, the binds, and the mechs themselves. And just to finish it up, and because someone will ask, how do the pilots get out of the mechs if the doors at the back bend or jam in some other way in battle? Well, they don't. Just kidding. Every pilot carries a small dagger or axe to cut the binds that hold the helmet to the torso if they need to, and then they can climb up and exit the mech through the neck. The binds can then be grafted in and repaired afterwards, as long as not much time has passed. Whew, that felt like a long one. Such a complicated answer for such a simple question. But then again, Most media with mechs in them don't bother explaining or justifying things to this extent. And I don't follow them or enjoy them less because of it. Rule of cool is a totally valid justification in my opinion. But, personally, I just really like when things make some sense of sorts, within the basic physics and the rules of a setting. And perhaps some of you do as well, and if you're like me in this regard, I think you will enjoy the content that is to come. But I'll be honest, I think I've eaten a bit more than I could chew with this one, especially if I am to keep a consistent weekly upload schedule. However, it also helped me define a lot of stuff for the project going forwards, so no wasted effort. So, here is how to get inside your plant-based, early modern period fantasy mech. Step 1. Open the damn thing. Step 2. Get a ladder and start climbing in. Step 3. Get yourself nice and comfy inside. 4. Let the mother vine connect to your spine and head, and begin the communion with your new exomuscular body. 5. Close it up and adjust the helm and shoulders by contracting the vines together. Now you are ready to fight and protect your people from the Hekaxian invaders. Once again, more of that later. So, as we finish this topic, let me thank you all once again for your kind words, subscriptions, likes, comments, etc. It is really motivating to keep working on this project and show you the world of Iron Vessel. Feel free to drop more questions in the comments, I will try to answer them as much as I can, unless it's a spoiler for info to be told in a future video. And special thanks to those of you who took the plunge early and decided to join my Patreon. Your support is the first step to, hopefully, allow me to do this full-time and not have to go crawling back to my corporate masters. If you are able to, and would like to join the Patreon for some extra lore and sketches, early access to videos, and to help me enroll in classes to get rid of my terrible accent, or just follow me in other social media, all links will be in the description. I really hope you liked the video, and thank you for watching it all the way. Cheers!